Hi everyone, welcome to Colouring with Kate. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to continue to work in this beautiful book by R.J. Hampson, Dragon Dreams. And if you remember last time I tried out a voiceover. I don't know why the volume was a little bit less than the intro part, but I'm going to try to speak louder this time, and I'm going to not use the microphone and see how it goes. So yeah, thank you for your patience with that. I know it's not ideal, but I'm doing my best to try to do things a little bit differently, just for variety. So yeah, this is the background I've done in the first video, where I showed how I use my Neocolor ones to do this background, and then blended it with the Derwent blender pens, and also using Zest-it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pencils just to colour the, well, I'm going to work on the actual castle itself now. So I'm going to use pencils for all the bits that have got sort of brickwork on them. But I just wanted it, because it's such a enchanted page, and I'm not going to make it realistic. And I'm going to use my Arteza pencils. So I have Spring Green, Mint Green, Turquoise and Aegean Blue. So those are the pencil blend that I've decided to use for those parts. I probably won't do the absolute entire page from start to finish on camera, but I'm going to do the main bits, so at least then you get a good idea of, you know, the most, you know, interesting parts, because I know that a few parts of videos do become boring for people, and according to the views they don't really get watched too much. So I'm going to work on pencil, I'm going to speed up the video, and I'll do a voiceover. So I hope you continue to watch. Thank you. Okay, so as I said previously, I'm using my Arteza Expert pencils. I think I said that anyway, I can't remember actually, but I am using my microphone because I did a little bit of a experiment, and I was just working out you know, the volume on the iPad when I'm using the microphone to do the voiceover, and I found that I need a lower volume. So hopefully this you know, the sound will be better on this part of the video. So here what I'm doing is I'm using my first colour, my lightest green, just adding a base of that, and then my second darker green colour, which is mint green, and I'm just applying that, working my way inward from the edges of the castle, just to add the shading. And that's basically the pattern that I use with most of the colouring, pencil colouring that I do, is just working from the edges inwards with the darker shades. And I find that, you know, the more colours I use, generally the better the result. So that's the mint green, and then I use turquoise, again working from the edges of the castle inwards, just to, you know, deepen up the shadows really. But yeah, I decided to do a green castle. I don't know why, I just I was going to initially do, it was going to be a greeny sort of purple colour, but then I didn't want the castle to blend in and, you know, be sort of fade into the sky, because the sky of course is blue as well, bluey purple. So I thought I wanted it to be a little bit of a contrast, and something, I wanted the castle to stand out quite a lot, so I went with green then. And so now this is my final shade, the darkest shade for the green blend, well, the greenish bluish blend. So this is the Aegean blue, absolutely beautiful colour. And yeah, again I'm just working my pencil from the edges of the castle inwards. And yeah, the Arteza experts work really well, I think, on Amazon printed paper, and actually the paper in the R.J. Hampson books work quite well. So now what I'm doing is I thought I would add a second layer of the colours, so I'm working backwards now, so I'm putting in the turquoise colours into, you know, working from the Aegean blue and then the mint green and then the lightest colour to blend everything. So I'm just going over the whole thing with the lightest green, and that's just to show I'm going to do the rest of the parts of the castle in that green colour. So there you go, that's the rest of the castle done. I thought I wouldn't video everything else because it was the same procedure. So now what I have is a second blend of colour. I wanted sort of a browny colour, so I've used I think it was Camel Brown. I think it was Camel Brown, and now it's Cotote Brown or something like that. So again, light medium pressure with all my pencils there, and this is Cocoa Brown now. Sorry, I keep saying and I just realised that I do that a lot and I know it can be irritating, so I do apologise. It's just habit. And then my final colour is dark chocolate, which I just apply a little bit to the edges just so that it's the darkest on the edges. And I thought that looked quite well, you know, quite good. Got a little, went a bit outside the line there, so I used my Tombow eraser. And then again, Camel Brown, use the lightest colour to just merge everything together and use it as a blender to, you know, blend everything together. So in this little clip, I'm just showing that I'm repeating that same brown blend for the tops of some parts of the castle, so for the roofs, and I'm just sort of finishing it off, but I'm using exactly the same colours, so the same 4 pencils that I'm using for the blend. And I'm just going over the lightest colour, the lightest brown colour, which was Camel Brown, I think. So I am using the same brown blend I used on the door of the castle that I'd used previously, and now what I'm doing is I'm using my final third pencil blend for some parts of the castle. Again, this third blend will be in the description below, but it's more of a reddish tone, like a reddy brown tone. So this is only, I think I used Sienna brown and Espresso brown as well, and I just missed the lightest colour at the start, but like I said, I will list all of these pencils in the description. So I just missed that again. It was a bit too fast for me because I've speeded it up. Sorry, I said it again. So yes, a few parts. I just wanted a little bit of a difference, like a contrast, and so what I decided to do is just add this third pencil blend, which wasn't too dissimilar to the original Camel Brown pencil blend. But yeah, I think the next clips I've got is where I am adding the metallic paints to the picture, because I thought with the roofs that you can see, the turrets actually, the turrets, I wanted my metallic paint to be on because I thought they would be ideal for putting metallic paint on, because of course I have to have some metallic paint on my pictures, and I thought the turrets would look really nice in metallic paint. I also thought some of the other details, like parts of the roof where you've got the lines, they would look nice with some metallic paint on them as well. So now is the interesting bit. one of the fun parts for me anyway, is where I'm going to add some of my metallic paints. So I am using some paints that I purchased. That's the little palette that you saw from Amazon UK. It's the, I don't know how you pronounce it, it's spelt CSY, I think, metallic paints. And there's several shades of, different tins of 6 that you can purchase. And I just got it to try out first, really, and this is my favourite colour that I'm using at the moment, which is like a greeny gold. And yeah, the paints are really nice. They are really nice. They're really vivid, highly pigmented, good paints. For a pack of 6, or tin of 6 should I say, it's not a pack, a tin of 6, it was about £11, I think. So I'm just using my favourite green gold colour on the turrets of the castle, and I'm just using a fine paintbrush. I think I used a Princeton watercolour brush. I've got a few of them, a couple of them actually, 2 or 3 of them. And then I just went over some of the parts just to make sure that the coverage was good. And then now I'm using another metallic paint. This is actually from my Finetech palette. So this again was purchased, I think it's a 24 palette if I'm not mistaken. Finetech palette, yeah, that was from Amazon UK as well. And this sort of orangey colour is one of my favourite colours. And there is a brown that I also use, but I just thought that the orange colour really stands out and I really liked it, so I thought on some of the details of the castle towers I would put that on. I'm not going to use metallic paint for everything on the castle, as I want them to, I don't want to overuse the metallic paints, so I've left some areas without metallic paint, and I'll probably use Fineliners, metallic gel pen, and maybe glaze pen, but I'm not altogether sure about that. But definitely Fineliners and my Uniball metallic gel pens, I think, will do quite well on the remaining details of the castle. So I really, really do like this orangey colour here. And I just sort of add the paint in, just the same colour. I didn't use too many different shades, really. I'm just thinking, I do add one more colour of metallic paint, and that's again from the Finetech palette, and it is a lovely brown colour. But yeah, I think in this clip I just show the adding of the orangey brown colour. So that's what my page looks like now, with all the metallic parts on the castle. I did add some on the door as well, and now I'm using some Mica Magic to these cloud-like things on the border. So I decided to use shades of green, and then I also thought I would use some blues and a little bit of purple. So that's what I did. I used shades of green and purple. So with this I added layers and layers onto the page, to try to make it sort of deepen it up as much as possible. And yeah, I was inspired to use these Mica Magics because I had them for a while. I have them for a while in my stash, and I do have a lot of different mediums, and sometimes you forget to use certain things. And I was watching Grumble Bunny here on YouTube, and she'd used it on one of her pages. She was showing it in her end of July pages, I think, and her page looked absolutely gorgeous, and she'd said she used these Mica Magic and it looked really nice, and so she inspired me to, you know, get mine out and use them as well. So yeah, I'm adding some blues, shades of blues now, and deep blue as well. A little bit of dust does come off it, but it's not too bad. It's not very fine dust, so it's okay. So yeah, just I'm using like a eyeshadow applicator. I actually got 50 of those with the long handles. You can see that they're just easier to use with the longer handles. I got those from Amazon as well. So these black eyeshadow applicators, extra long handle, were available. I did purchase them from Amazon, you know, a few months ago. So I'm sure they'll still be available. They were for a fairly decent price as well, and it works quite well with these Mica Magic powders. So I'm really pleased with how the page is coming along. But once I did this bit and I had added the Mica Magic, I was thinking of adding an acrylic glitter paint on top, but then I thought the shimmer of the Mica Magic would be lost. So I sort of went against that idea, and instead I decided that I would use my Spectrum Noir gold metallic acrylic marker to go over the squiggly lines in the clouds, because I really wanted to go over them to sort of just make it a little bit more, just give it something extra. So yeah, that's what I did, as you'll see in a moment or two, where I apply the acrylic marker. So yeah, that's what it's looking like now. I am liking how it's looking. I did show my husband the page, and I said, "What do you think of my castle?" And he was like, "It's green." I'm like, "Yeah, of course it's green." So yeah, it's a green castle. I don't know, I felt like doing a green castle. So yeah, it was really fun adding this gold acrylic. I really like the Spectrum Noir acrylic marker, the metallic marker. And like I said, I got them in a set of 3 different sizes, but I really only used the 0.7 nib. So now I'm showing the Pitt Artist pen. I just go over the black lines really, because I don't like the way that the metallic paint sort of blurs them out. So yeah, I sort of do that and finish that off. So in this section I am going to add some fine liner details just to parts of the castle. So yeah, I'm just using sort of brown shades and sort of dark orange shades as well, going round just some details. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. So yeah, I always like to add, sorry I went a bit quiet there because I was not thinking what, I wasn't sure what to say, but yeah, I always like to use different mediums for a page, just to, I think different mediums work together generally quite well, you know. So for example, For small details like you see here, I'll use Fineliners, I'll use gel pens, and for bigger areas generally I'll use coloured pencil with shading, of course, or very rarely I do use alcohol markers if it's a single-sided page. But yeah, and I try to always consider on a page where I'm going to use metallic paints. So a few different shades of fine liner I've chosen. You know, I've like to choose dark brown. I think I chose a mid brown and then a reddish brown as well, just so that the whole thing sort of works together quite well. And yeah, don't know what else to say really. I do really enjoy R.J. Hampson's colouring books. I know that he's got a new one out. I think it's a woodland or forest one, so I'll most likely be purchasing that one. So yeah, just adding the final fine liner details in. And then I think I also add a little bit of gel pen next. But yeah, I am going to add, I think I use a Uniball. Well, actually I've got Uniball. I think it's called angelic colours, or they're the pastel shades. So for some of the windows I do put the yellow shade in. Just for the bigger windows really. For the smaller ones I've coloured them in black. I think you can see that already on the picture. Just add in the final details really, with the doorknobs and the some more gel pen here and there. I really like the Uniball metallic gel pens. I think they work really well. I do like the Sakura ones as well, but I tend to use the Uniball ones. So I'm using a silver, I used a bronze. I'm not sure if I used a gold. I think it was just the bronze on the silver, just to add some little details here and there. So that's what the page looks like at the moment, and now I'm going to work on the moon. So with the moon, I thought I'd do it as a silhouette, and so I just used a Faber Castell Pitt artist marker and shaded the whole dragon in black. As you can see, they're done. And then I used the Art Spirits True Silver metallic watercolour paint and a fine paintbrush to apply the paint. The paint was quite thick, and I purposely kept it like that so that it would give a little bit of a textured surface rather than completely smooth. So yeah, I just like to apply it with I think it was a size 0 watercolour brush. But yeah, I was contemplating whether to do the dragon in greens as well, but then I thought I'll just do it as a silhouette with a silver moon in the background. I thought that might look quite nice. But yeah, I've got so many metallic paints now. I'm just in the process of re-swatching them all out in another book. I decided to use a book because I don't know, just prefer books, but the book will just be for my metallic watercolours and glitter watercolours. So yeah, just going over the moon, so that's done. Now I've decided to work on the border. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing one of the borders, because I wanted similar colour to the main picture, using the same colours so that it all, you know, marries together quite well. So I'm using Glittering Luna from the Art Spirits paints. So this is a beautiful blue sort of glittery shade metallic watercolour. So yeah, again applying with a fine brush. I actually needed a finer brush. I think I used a 30 just for the border, so that's completed, did all the whole border. I think it looks quite nice, sorry, with the colours used in the sky. So now I wanted to do the vine bit, the bit that wraps around, so I just used a Artex pencils, I think I used. So what colour did I use? I'm just looking in my notes because I've forgotten, just typical me. But yeah, I will have all the colours linked in the description. But yeah, the colours I used, the Arctic pencils for the vine border, were, first colour was the chartreuse, the light green, very light green. Then light aqua is what I'm using now, just for some shading. And then my final colour was imperial violet. So yeah, I think that made quite a nice blend. And again, I'm using green, sort of greeny blue colours, which match quite well with the main picture. So that's the imperial violet. I really do like the Artex pencils. I think they work really nicely. And I have done they have asked me to, I think I've put that video out already, which is the pastel acrylic paint markers, but I asked if they were going to release a bigger set of Artex pencils, because I said I really did like them, and they said they're hoping to release a bigger set later in the year, so that would be fantastic. So now I'm just using the lighter chartreuse colour and just blending it all together, just as a final thing. And that's my border done. And now I'm going to add some, well, I'm going to do the flowers. And so I decided to do the flowers using my Sakura Jelly Roll Glaze pens. So I chose a blue shade and a purple shade, and I thought I'd do them, colour them alternately in blue and purple. I thought that would look quite nice. Again, the colours I've chosen go well with the night sky in the main picture. I just chose those colours because I didn't want too many different colours. I wanted to keep the palette fairly limited. So now I thought I'd add in also some, using just a fine liner, the brown fine liner from Arteza Inkonic. Just going over some of the castle stone details. And that's it, that's how the page is looking right now. So now I'm just adding black to, using the fine liner, black to the centre of the flowers, just to finish it off. And then the bit that you can see between the vine, you know, where the flowers are, and the border of the picture, the white there, I wanted to colour that in black, so it would be a very big contrast, and I thought the picture will really stand out if I use black. So I did use a black Posca for that. I started using the PC1MR, but I think it was running out, or the nib was clogged, but it wasn't working as well as I wanted it to, and I prefer the Posca 1Ms. I think they work much better. So fortunately I had a Posca 1M, so I used that. So yeah, just go around the whole border with black Posca, and you can see me finishing it off here. And I think it goes really well with, I think the black sort of really works well as a contrast with the rest of the picture. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's looking. I was actually going to just leave it there and you know, because most of the picture's done, and then I decided that I was going to use my pastel, I think it's called a aqua green Posca. I just purchased some pastel shades of the Posca markers, which were reasonably priced from Coat Pens, so I decided to put some dots on the black Posca border as well, and again using a similar colour to the rest of the page, aqua green, so that all works together quite well. Now I was going to leave it there and say, okay, you'll see my final page, completed page, at the end of August, because all there is left to do are the few little leaves and flowers at the bottom of the castle. But then I thought, why not just complete the whole page? So what I did is I insert a couple of clips, and all I'm doing is using just, you know, pencil for majority of these leaves. I can't even remember the colours because I didn't write down the colours I used for these, but they were just shades of green really. I think I used my Artex pencils again, or it might be an Arteza, but those two sets of pencils work quite well. So yeah, just using shades of green for the leaves, foliage, plants at the bottom, and just adding a bit of shading. So yeah, I can't believe that I've done, I hope this video works out okay, because it's been a lot of work doing the editing, filming it, doing the editing, and I don't even know if it's, you know, worked out well really yet. But yeah, probably the most I've edited a video and done a voiceover, so I'm hoping it does work out well. And then I'm just going to do the mushrooms and just fine liner. I decided to do the mushrooms, I think, and then can't remember what I did with the flowers, but we'll see in a minute. So I only coloured this the other day and I've forgotten already. But yeah, definitely pleased with how the page was coming out. So now I've used some Arteza Inkonic fine liners again. So on this page I've used a variety of materials. I've used Posca markers, Sakura glaze pens, metallic paints, pencils, fine liners, Mica Magic. Yeah, those are the main ones, I think. But yeah, I've enjoyed completing this page. I do really enjoy working on the books by R.J. Hampson, definitely. So now I'm just adding fine liner details. I just like to use fine liners sometimes, especially to bring out the details in objects. So I decided to use my Pentel Dual Metallic Hybrid for the flowers. I think this is just an orangey brown colour. orangey yellowy colour, should I say. And I think that goes quite well with some parts of the castle as well, and the centre of the flower just with a black fine liner. And the final step was to just add some white gel pen into the mushrooms, and that's it. That's my completed page. So I hope you enjoyed this colour along, and until next time, take care. Bye.